Madre John Madden in my camper van Sunday morning, the 5th of December. This is my long form about my new neighborhood. I have a freshly trimmed beard, looking a lot better. Last night I went looking for a mechanic. I had been told by my friend Tony that a block and a half away from where I was parked by the Super Chedraui in the Guadalupe Rodriguez Colonia, that block and a half away there was a mechanic that had some kind of a machine battery charger that I could take back to my car and get my battery charged so I could leave on Sunday morning. We struck out on that, but I did manage to find a barber down there, a really nice guy named he's from Colombia, and it was a name I didn't recognize, something like Bensley or something like that. But a great guy. So I got a freshly trimmed beard, and I'm in my new neighborhood. I really wanted to make the move on Sunday morning so I could drive my car safely, even with its mechanical problems, to over by the mechanic where I have an appointment on Thursday. And he thinks he'll get my brake work done by Friday in the afternoon. So I'm just 2 blocks away from him. Here's the neighborhood. There's the plaza with the Office Max and the Starbucks and the AutoZone, who gave me the referral to the mechanic. And there's a big park cemetery that's got something called Xalapa Pantheon in there. I think it's a high point. And when I was here a couple weeks ago, I wanted to go walking in that park, but I never made it. But being here for 4 days, I bet I will. So the challenge this morning was I still had a dead battery. I did not know that taxis will give you a jump. I assumed they would not. But it turned out that for 80 pesos they will. And I got a taxi driver to give me a jump. And I managed to get out of my parking spot there where I'd been for a week and a half. And somewhere along the line I got the idea that this plaza was called Plaza de Animas, which was not true. And I don't have telephone service in this phone. And it all operates off of a Wi-Fi. But if I start from a Wi-Fi, I can get directions that will last even when I leave the Wi-Fi on my Apple GPS. But it was the wrong directions, and I way overshot this neighborhood, and I ended up almost back in Las Trancas, where I'd been for a month. I recognized a couple of the big buildings over there. And actually, because Lázaro Cárdenas with the big, it's a boulevard, it can go a long ways without giving you a chance to turn around, and that happened. I ended up actually in the business district of Las Trancas twice. To get out of there the first time, it's a mess of road construction in there, and you could almost end up in Veracruz without having a chance to turn around. So I did an illegal U-turn, not dangerous. I'm pretty good at choosing good risks. I had people yelling at me, and immediately once I was headed back up in this direction, immediately I had I think it was municipal police pickup truck right on my heels with his flashers on. But I said, they just travel that way. It doesn't mean he's after you. It doesn't mean he saw what you did or cared what you did. Just keep driving. And it turned out he passed me. There was no problem with that. So I'm here. It took a whole lot of times where I had absolutely no idea where I was. It took way longer than it was supposed to. But I'm 2 blocks away from the mechanic. And I've got money for taxis, but it looks like I could walk to the downtown here from here. So 4 days here till I get in, and 5 days till I get out. I am planning to stay at a hotel downtown by Juarez Park, which I find so exciting. And I found a great hotel. I had stayed just a couple nights ago at Hotel Limon, which is very old and charming, right behind the cathedral. But there were lots of ways it was not adequate. The hotels are amazingly cheap in downtown Xalapa right now. I've paid twice as much way out in the boonies. But it's off season, I keep making comparisons between Xalapa and Chicago, but man, being right in the shopping area of Chicago, this is the Christmas holidays, you'd be lucky to get a room and you'd pay an arm and a leg, and I'm paying like, I paid like $22 American at the Hotel Le Monde, and the Hotel Salmones, which is tucked behind the big business street, behind the huge Don Justo, is a much nicer hotel at 500 pesos. So what's that? It's going to be about $40 American. And I can stay there at least a Thursday night while the car is in the shop. And I damn might stay there Friday night and Saturday night so I can go out dancing, because I have learned where there are dance clubs there. And I also found a spectacular alternative to Don Justo. I like Don Justo, and I was sweet on one of the managers there, but there's nothing happening with her, and that one big room at that huge Don Justo is like an echo chamber, and I'm sensitive to sounds, and it's almost intolerable for me. But just one block over, right next to the Hotel Salmones, which has, I can probably get a balcony room so I can smoke right outside of my room, which would be amazing. But right next to it is a lovely little restaurant called Casado de Bayaterio, and it's gorgeous. I've got a video up on that. It's got a huge garden right in the middle of the restaurant. And I was sitting right next to it a couple days ago, and it's so soothing and quiet, and doesn't have all the wonderful young people hustling around serving tables like at Don Justo. It's got it's an old school restaurant with the old guys, but they hustle too, and it's balm for my nerves down there. So that's all great. And I don't have the wonderful Alma de Abeja, adorable little coffee shop with my friend Monsi and Metzeri, but I have a Bola de Oro right over there. That's the drive-through for the Bola de Oro, and those are good, plentiful. I also found from GPS right where there's a Bola de Oro just half a block away from the Don Justo downtown, and they've been an important storm for me with a pretty good Wi-Fi. I'm actually pulling the Wi-Fi right here, but not strong enough to do much with it, not upload videos. So things are shaking out good. My current plan, since neither the little sweetie cakes at the Don Justo nor my wonderful opera singer who busks in the park, nothing's happening with either of them. So I'm just going to take off. And I'm thinking that probably next Sunday, a week from now, would be another good time to travel and get out of town. My car is totally functional now. The battery had been dead for several days, but now the battery's open. I can open the windows or close the windows, and it's going to be more noisier. Probably Lázaro Cárdenas right out there is going to be noisier at night than Ruiz Cortines was by Superche, but I'll sleep fine and take off on Sunday and head in the direction of Veracruz and the Riviera Maya, where I really need to go. For a while I dallied with the idea of heading towards Mexico City, and Cuernavaca, just an hour from there, has a great language school for immersion in Spanish. Too far away from the ocean. I got to get back to the beach. And my Spanish is doing better and better. I knocked myself out. I come away like, I had a conversation with the kid at the Super Chedraui checkout. He says, "Do you speak English?" And I said, "Mejor de español." But I ended up talking the whole thing with him in Spanish. You know, so my Spanish is getting better. I have found one really good app. Really good app. Most of the apps drive me crazy. They're all drills. They're like for kids. Duolingo, no. Fuck that. No, all of them. They're bullshit. But there's a podcast on National Public Radio. Radio Ambulante is all Spanish language stories, and they have partnered with an outfit called Jive World, is a wonderful language learning app where you listen to really interesting stories about Latin America and learning the language from how it's really spoken. So I have that. And I have the people. All the people. Practicar. So I'm happy. It's already getting overcast. Like always in Xalapa, a day that starts nice ends up lousy. You can count on that. But Xalapa is still a great city, and I'm glad to have a few more days, and I'll make it to the Anthropology Museum. That's walking distance from here. And I may end up doing one tour. I gotta pinch my pennies because what could stop me from getting out of Xalapa is if the breaks are super expensive and I end up with no money. But I'm betting I'll have money to travel and to budget one tour to go out to Jico. I'd rather go on a tour bus and invest the money in that, even though all their patter will be in Spanish. Probably. Okay. Sunday morning. I'm pretty sure it's the 5th. I could be wrong. Happy day. Buen dia. Buen domingo. Feliz Navidad. It's an exciting time to be in Xalapa. Bye. Hasta luego.